All right, welcome to the official launch of my online Lactigo business. I'm super pumped. We're going to talk Lactigo tonight. If you guys have been following me for any time, I've been putting little feelers out there. Um, if you know me, I'm into fitness, I'm into supplementation. I run an online fitness company, I have my own supplement company, and about almost a year ago, a good friend of mine, John Macker, reached out to me, and he said, "Hey Todd, have you ever tried this Lactigo stuff?" And I said, "Nope, but I'm willing to try anything." I have been chasing peak performance for 40 plus years, or right at 40 years. I'm 51. I probably started, you know, peak performance. I have four brothers, so uh, you know, only the strong survive and something like that. So always looking for an edge. Um, Obviously came up, played football for the Huskers. Was blessed to be on a couple back-to-back national championship teams. So I was always looking, how do I get better, right? And always the latest supplementation, this, that. I tried everything, um, and then obviously you quit playing football, and what do you do then? you know, so lots of stuff have come across my desk, my in my gym, or in my locker, in the last almost 40 years, and I would get excited about some things, but it seemed to fade, or somebody seemed to come out and duplicate it, and that kind of thing. So I wasn't really looking for this when John called me. I was looking for this, but I didn't know I was looking for it, right? Because I was in constant pain. Once again, if you've followed me for any amount of time, before this product, I had had two back surgeries and my knee replaced. So, needless to say, lots of pains, aches, that kind of stuff. I train every single day. Saturday will be 6 years in a row. I haven't missed a day. 2,184 days in a row, 312 weeks, I believe, is 6 years. Um, and so when John reached out, he said, "Hey, do you want to try this?" I'll try it, and I'll give you my honest opinion, because, and I'll bring my co-founder on, Denny, here in a little bit, of the locker room and set the bar subs. Um, we get hit up with lots of stuff all the time, like weekly. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Guess what? I have. I've tried just about everything. Now, Denny is a little more skeptical than I am. So he hasn't tried as much stuff as me, and not even close, probably. But I will try pretty much anything if it's gonna, help me perform at a better, give me an edge, make me sleep better, feel better. Those guys, I'll try it, but I'll give you my honest opinion on it as well. So be careful if you want to approach me, because it has to work, especially with my reach, um, on online. I am not going to promote something that doesn't 100% work for me personally. And I've spent the last 11 months proving it works with pretty much everybody that I've brought in contact with it. So um, that that is uh, kind of where we start. So we're gonna talk about this product. We're gonna talk about the fact that there is a plan attached to it. I love, and I've loved the direct sales, the that kind of market, since I was 18. At my 18th birthday, I signed up for Amway and thought I was going to, make $1 million a year by selling toilet paper and toothpaste to my neighbors. I grew up in Battle Creek, small town. Guess what? Most of them didn't buy, because you could go to Walmart. Well, maybe not then. Um, you could go to Walmart and get toilet paper and toothpaste, right? So, and don't get me wrong, people have made a lot of money in that space, right? So, but it just wasn't for me. I couldn't get attached to it. I've tried a couple other businesses, I've done some success, but once again, the product just didn't align with my values. And once again, Denny, you ready to come in? Not sure. Denny can speak on this a little bit. Um, it needs to align with my values and with what I want my legacy left with on this planet. I'm getting a little bit older, so legacy is starting to become a real thing. um, and I want to be known for a guy that has helped a lot of people with my coaching, with my mindset stuff, with my nutrition stuff, um, that kind of stuff. What's up, Mike? What's up, Matt? Um, I so it's super important to me if I bring a product to the market that I am 100% behind it. You can go to setthebarsups.com. Every single product on there I've used. I love them. Um, but because of this product, I'm down to only using a couple off of that site now. And I think every person on the planet that has skin should be using this product. So, Denny, you good? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I got the thumbs up. Hey, I want to bring in Denny Kidwell. He's out in Ohio. He is the co-founder of the STB Locker Room and Set the Bar Sups. Um, he, like I said, he's an elite level athlete. Even at just turned 50.
Yeah,
What, a week ago or so. Um, it,
I'm not sure. A couple days ago, sure.
so and I just like everything we do as a team. And so when I got this product in my hands, I knew that he was going to be super, super skeptical, because that's the kind, like, we're yin and yang, right? Like, I'll try anything. Then he's like, wait a minute, I gotta wait. Like, so I made sure and had my ducks in a row. Like, I gave it to a couple of our clients that I knew, Denny understood and respected, and got their opinion on it before I even took it to Denny. Um, and so I it just absolutely blew me away what this product does. And then I once again leaked it to a couple clients and said, hey, try this out. Give me your honest opinion. They both came back raving. So that's when I finally made the phone call to Denny and said, hey, you need to try this stuff out. He was still skeptical. He said, what in the heck are you talking about? So, um, but I'll let you kind of tell your short side of using the product, right?
Sure.
Yep.
Well, thank you. Thanks for the introduction, Todd. And it's just turning 50. It's not your prototypical 50-year-old. There's still quite a few sports that I play. You want to keep up with kids, all that good stuff. But realistically, are pitched quite a few different things. And it gets, credibility to it. You got to have that just to get in the door, right? If big name pro athletes are using it, right?
Mhm.
And if this, now I'm listening, right? So, testing that happens and all that. But what I can tell you is I put it through the paces for 12 hours over the course of in 24 hours. And I think 7 hours of mountain biking, played soccer with the college kids, and then I played basketball with the college kids. And I screwed up. I only put it on once. And for that, I should have put it on at night and in the morning and things like that. But I still felt like $1,000,000. I knew that I was able to outperform and I was less sore than what I typically would have been doing those 3 separate exercises back to back to back. So, I called him back. I'm like, okay, I know some of the guys said this is for real. I know you say it's for real, but now that I, just tried it, I already knew it was for real, but now that I've tried it for myself, I can just absolutely, I'm blown away. What are we going to do? How can we get this in our hands? Right. So take it from there.
Yeah. So, our number one knee jerk reaction was, can we buy this wholesale and sell it retail off of our site? That didn't work. So it just wasn't
Nope.
feasible. Right. Because that was the first question we had. Right. So this was back, like I said, about a year ago, 11 months. And so we just kind of got engineered into the kind of the next guy I'm going to bring on, and I'm going to pop you off, Denny, and I'm going to bring on Barry Hughes. So John Macker introduced it to me. Barry here um, introduced it to John. So Barry, thank you for introducing it to John. John couldn't be with us tonight. He's working. Otherwise he would be here. So Barry, just kind of give us your background. Once again, Barry's an elite level athlete himself in the day, played hockey, football. He was, were you a quarterback, right? Did you play
Yes,
quarterback?
I was.
Yeah, you played quarterback. So you played, and he's from Canada. So don't hold that against him if you're from the U.S. But no, we love Barry and all the Canada people that we've met through this company. But Barry, in his own right, has been in direct sales for quite a while. I'll let him kind of tell that. But he actually retired from it, like retired, like, hey, I'm done. Like I don't have to work anymore if I don't want to. And what really got me peaked on the building this as a business was that this guy who doesn't need to come out of retirement whatsoever decided, hey, this product is so unique and proprietary and patented that he's coming out to build this thing. So Barry, kind of give us your take on Lactigo in the future.
Well, thanks, Todd and Denny. I appreciate you guys both. It's always an honor to get on your call and your platform. I know you got a great audience of super great athletes who are really, really a tight team approach. I love the approach you guys take. So appreciate you having me on tonight. Like you, Todd, I really wasn't looking. I got a rogue phone call saying, hey, there's a product that's in all 32 NHL dressing rooms. I'm a hockey puck. My son played professionally. I felt like, okay, this is something I have to look at, right? If it's in the NHL, I'm thinking, the NHL, the NFL, the NBA, the major sports leagues don't adopt products to their mega $1 million athletes unless they fully vetted them and they're A, safe, B, perform at the highest levels, and C, provide value, right? The true value that they're looking for from the product. So I already knew or had a good inclination that this was going to be a product that I think served athletes. But what I was more surprised about, Todd, was what would it do for an old broken down warrior like myself, right? Because like you, I played football until I got paralyzed on the field, as a quarterback, and I went around to make a block. I wasn't the quarterback who ran out of bounds, Todd. I was a quarterback who looked for the biggest 300-pounder I could find and stick my helmet right in his guts or his chest and hope I win the battle. And one of those times I did that, I cracked my neck pretty good, and I ended up on the ground and paralyzed from the neck down for about 20 minutes. And I had the trainer over me saying, you're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. And I'm thinking, no, I'm not. I'm going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, or I'm going to be eating steaks out of a straw. And that's what's going through your head in a time like that. And then what ends up happening is I recovered, and I didn't play contact sport anymore. I had to retire from football, and I continued to play hockey. But at 53 years old, I started having shoulder pains, and I thought, okay, I've got a shoulder issue, and it felt like dead arm. But I went to a specialist, and he started doing an electroconductivity test, and he told me that I no longer had electrical impulses going to the left side of my arm and into my pec on the left side, also my latissimus dorsi, my front deltoid, my forearm, my half of my tricep head. And it was very unemasculating, Todd. I felt like, things were being taken from me. Like I had to leave the gym. I couldn't really work out properly anymore. I had to step away from playing hockey. I played hockey with a ton of ex-NHL guys in Kelowna, British Columbia, where I'm from. I had to step away from that. And I thought my days of competing were over. I definitely thought my days of getting exercise were over. And what ended up happening was I ended up getting dormant. I ended up gaining lots of weight. I ended up over 280 pounds. And I was looking for answers to try and help with my neuropathy, because that's what had happened with my surgery. I ended up getting a C4 to 7 spinal fusion. As a result of that injury, almost 30 years ago, it manifested into a massive clump of vertebrae mass that didn't allow range of motion or anything anymore. And it was constricting my spinal cord and causing all these problems. So I had to get surgery. Wasn't a fan of that, and it really affected my life forever because I could no longer use certain muscles. They never came back to me, and I thought they would. And the doctor assured me they probably would, and they just didn't. And then I found Lactigo, and I started applying this stuff, and I started feeling a lot better. I started feeling like I could walk again. I started feeling like I was in less pain. I started feeling like I had a little more confidence to try different things. So I tried pickleball. I started picking up the golf clubs more avidly again. Like before, I could golf maybe once, in 10 days and suffer for 9 of them until I could maybe try to go back out and play again. But it was still worth it for me to get that competition. That bug we get, Todd, where we feel like we got to be part of something. So I would go suffer. And, I started taking Lactigo, and now I can golf 3 days in a row. I wasn't able to do that for like the last 7 years. I started being able to walk, like in Canadian terms, 16 kilometers, 10 miles for you guys. So that was monumental. And I started losing a lot of weight, and I found myself at 215 pounds, my university playing weight, for the first time in, wow, maybe 30 years or so. It was quite a while. And I felt better than I felt in a long time, Todd. And at that point in time, I realized that, what am I here on this planet for? Like you said, things had gone well. And, I had 2 young children. My wife is a federal homicide investigator for the Canadian Royal Mounted Police. So she's neck deep in her really great career, serving the community. And I thought, well, maybe I could serve the community in a more meaningful way this time around. When it's funny, Todd, when money's kind of out of the way for you, it's really much easier to care about others. Honestly, it's sad that that's the truth, but I'm not so self-absorbed in my own life, just trying to survive, if that makes sense. And then I found myself like I wanted to share this. I felt absolutely obligated to share it. And what's happened in the last year is I'm even more all in on that principle of sharing. And I really do feel this way. If you've got skin, I'm going to tell you about Lactigo, and you cannot like it, and I don't care, because I'm not going to have it on my conscience that at least I didn't mention it to you. It's safe for 2 years old and up. It's got no drug interaction. So I'm looking, okay, what does a 60-year-old guy like me need? Well, I need it to not interfere with a blood pressure drug. I'm on one small little one now, but I got off statins. I got off, I was never on blood thinners, but I was on 3 prescription medicines, leaky gut stuff. I'm off all that now. I'm just on a small, tiny little blood pressure pill. And honestly, I'm feeling more like myself all the time. My wife comments, I'm able to do stuff around the house again. Imagine having a wife where you're leaving her to do all the man's work. Again, you couldn't feel less manly if you tried. That's how I was feeling for so long. So yeah, Todd, now I'm at a point where we really need to get the message out. And I'm just looking to partner with great people like yourself and John Macker and Denny, and Pastor Aaron. You got quite a great complement of dudes here that I love hanging with and love to hear their insights as well. So that's where I've been the last, 6 or 7 years. And now I found myself here, and this is it for me. This is my purpose. I'm going to spend the rest of my working life getting this on as many people's skin to just try it, right? Just try it. I have a nightshirt on. It doesn't say just try it, but it's just try it is just really that simple. If people just try this stuff, I know they're going to have a response, because our chief science officer says scientifically 100% of the people who use this product benefit from it, have a result. I've never heard that from any scientist before. Right. So I'm excited, Todd.
Yeah. Awesome, man. I appreciate you joining us tonight. I know you got a crazy busy schedule. He's down in Mexico right now, guys, so don't feel horrible for him. Although it did like monsoon rain there or something, and he's been cleaning up some flooding down there.
Todd, I want to mention one last thing before you let me go here. Guys, I have had some success in the direct sales model. And before that, I was in pharmaceutical medicine. That was my lifetime career, was pharmaceutical medicine, until I felt too icky to do that anymore. But guys, as far as if you're somebody out there right now looking for answers financially as well, I can tell you that if you ever wondered what it would be like to book a first class flight on a moment's notice, or not have to ask your boss for time off, or be able to truly live life on your terms, I don't know of a better opportunity. You know, I've had some great success in this industry, and I say that with total humility as a result of the teams that I've been lucky enough to attract and great individuals like yourself. It's the secret of our industry is really to partner up with people that are even better than you are. And I've been pretty fortunate at attracting those types of people into my life. So I'm grateful. But if you're somebody who really is looking for, you know, something that's going to give you performance and recovery, something that's going to take away all your aches and pains, or a lot of them. And I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not making any health claims, but this stuff will fix over 1,100 things. This stuff gets rid of 90% of what's in your medicine cabinet and let you focus on real stuff that is not harmful to you. And I can get behind that. And I can honestly say that I think this will be the biggest financial win of my life. And there is something to be said about a 60-year-old man. When are you really in your prime earning years? For me, I know it's my 60 to 70, 75 years. And if you're looking for an opportunity, I'm looking for some people to mentor and work with, you know, and show how to turn, you know, tragic to magic, 6-figure incomes into 7- and 8-figure incomes, Todd. That's what I'm all about now. I want to make other people's dreams come true. And I'm just so grateful that I get to be on your platform tonight, sharing this with some of your audience. And if anybody wants to partner with you, myself, Denny, and Pastor Aaron, John Macker, you know, some great guys. And it's about a lot of fun too, Todd. We're going to have a lot of fun, aren't we? We're going to be at tailgate games. We're going to travel. We're going to do lots of great things together. If that sounds like a little bit of fun to you, and maybe you're willing to be coached and mentored a little bit, I'm willing to spend the time with you and help you out and show you how I found a way to make 7-figure incomes. And I'm willing to show you how I did it. And that's all I really got to say. I just want to give myself to people. And that's where I'm at now, bro.
I love it. And I appreciate all that you've given to me over the last 11 months. You know, it's been an interesting journey for sure with this product, you know, and, you know, now we're ready to roll. Like, this is the official Todd Euler Set the Bar, Denny Kidwell launch. And we're like you, this is what we're going to build. This is what we're going to do from here on out. So we're pumped to be partnered with you and John and the whole Lactigo team. Those guys have really stepped up in the last couple of months and done some amazing things. So super pumped to have such an opportunity as this. So never thought I'd see it in my lifetime. I've tried a couple different, like I said, a couple other things that just didn't align with me. This aligns 1,000% with what I'm trying to accomplish in the world and help people, not only in their fitness, but with their finances too. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to bump you out. So a little bit more. So I got the product, and I do, if you guys follow me once again at all, I do the assault bike. It's the air bike. I got the product. About a month earlier, I'd done a 20-minute all-out sprint on the bike. Go ahead, try it. 20 minutes as far as you can go. I went 7.1 miles. I laid on the floor for 25 minutes. Thought I was going to die. And so I said, well, that's the test I'm going to use this stuff on. And so I put it on, waited the allotted 35, 45 minutes, got on the bike and hit 7.9 miles. My lungs felt like they were going to explode, but my legs felt great. I was so scared to get off the bike because I knew there's no way I'm going to be able to stand up after going 7.9 miles, almost, 0.8 miles further in 20 minutes. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if you've never ridden an assault bike, you do not understand. It is horrible. I got off the bike. I actually took my dog for a walk because I'm like, there's no way can I walk my hilly course. Not only did I walk it, I ended up jogging a mile of the course, which I don't jog. Like, the only time I like to run is if I got a football in my hand. It's been 30 years since I've had a football in my hand. So I knew I was on to something. I thought maybe it was in my head. Tried it with weight training. Once again, I've been doing a lot of body weight stuff. So I said, hey, I'm going to lift weights with this stuff. Amazing results with the weights. And I've put it to the test every single day, every single workout for the last 11 months. This stuff works. I was waiting for the day it didn't work because that was my biggest fear. Is this like going to stop working? It hasn't ever stopped working in 11 months. So I'm a customer for life. And I'm going to bring on another guy that I know is going to be a customer for life as well. And so I had made a little post on my Facebook page, hey, working on this new product. And you know, just, and once again, it really wasn't set up to be able to promote yet. And so I happened to go to my daughter's wrestling match, and this guy kind of came around the corner, and I bellied up to him pretty much. And he asked me, he said, "Hey, uh, introduced himself. He's like, I follow you on Facebook and da 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 da." And he said, "What's this Lactigo thing?" So I'm going to bring Pastor Aaron in, Aaron Trimble. So kind of take us from there. Like, you know, I think you could tell how excited I was about the product when we first met, and this was back in January, guys. Pastor Aaron and I touched base. So kind of tell us your experience with Lactigo.
Sure. It was kind of I think it was it February or January? We were at a wrestling event,
Yeah.
and I saw this 1994-95 running back from Nebraska, and I recognized him back in the day because he was a pretty good running back in our neck of the woods, and we didn't get to play against each other, but it would have been a lot of fun.
I don't know. It might have been a lot of fun for me. I had a pretty big offensive line, so my offensive line was crazy.
But one of the things, Todd, you told me was that Usain Bolt. You'd mentioned that this trainer. I didn't know who he was at this point, Chad Macias. I didn't realize, but when he said that, this is some stuff that the high level Olympians and the high level athletes have been using to become the fastest man on planet Earth, and to dominate their sport. Then when he said I had the opportunity to put this on myself, I was like, man, just show me where to sign. And he kind of told me to put on half your body, and I did that half the body trick, and I couldn't believe it because I went and did I think it was arm day, and I did I put it on right, I put it on my right arm, and I left my left side dormant, so to speak, and I just ripped through all my sets on my arms, and then I actually grabbed a 5 pounds heavier. I was like at 40, doing 40 pounds on my last set, and I just went up another 5, and it was just, I couldn't believe the strength I had. Then the next day I think I texted you about it right away, and then the next day I came back and did legs, where I'm usually pulling dead limbs, up the staircase when I'm done. And my 9-year-old girl came in there and she said, "Daddy, let's dance." And she had some little song that she's on a dance team. And so I was just shaking it and getting jiggy with it in our basement, after a leg day. And I'm like, this stuff is for real. And I couldn't believe it. And so I was just excited from that, and very, very peaked. I've always been always been the guy. I was the captain of the football team. I was always the guy that was running to the water hole. I was the one that won the dip contest. I was the one that was pushing everybody else on the team, kind of the inspirational leader, on your football team, taunting the crowd and everything else. So when I got a hold of this, I knew I was going to make some noise about it. And man, it's been great. I've tried it every single time. I like the fact, Todd, that it's all natural. It's an all natural product. I think that's a major, major selling point. And so it gets my endorsement for sure. For every now I'm just a weekend warrior, but I still try to work out, stay fit. I got 5 kids. They need everything I got. Ministry needs everything that I can put into it. And so this is just a great, great fit for me. And obviously, I'm great. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to run smack into Todd Euler. I finally got to run smack into him. And you know what? It's going to work out for me all right. Amen.
Amen. Awesome. So, it's been really awesome to work with Aaron as well. Like I always say, this was God given to me, because before this came, I was like really struggling with, like, I just turned 50. I went through another back surgery. I had it, and then I slipped in December and actually re-injured my back. So I had June 9th, I had my 3rd back surgery, guys, and I didn't miss a workout. I walked. I healed faster because I've been using Lactigo. And the one thing I'll tell you, I used pain pills for 3 days. That's it. And I haven't taken an Advil or a Tylenol since getting on this product. I used to take 3 Advil, 2 Tylenol just to try to sleep at night. So Barry talked about prescription drugs that he's off of. I'm off of the NSAIDs and the stuff that's going to tear up my liver and stomach and that kind of stuff that I had. I mean, I was taking them all the time just to get through the day with pain. I did all body weight for 2 years just because all my joints hurt so bad from, all the abuse that I put it through, not only in playing football, but powerlifting and, running a gym, that kind of thing. And I'm back, dude. I was able to, hit 100-pound dumbbells just 2 weeks ago on dumbbell incline. I hadn't done that in years, and that's after a major back surgery. So can't say enough about the product and what it can do for you uh, in the fitness realm, but not just the fitness realm. So many other people, like Barry said, just in pain, golfers, pickleball players. Um, we've got guys in all kinds of things that are seeing this product improve their quality of life and at a very minimal cost. And then the next thing is okay, so if you buy it, you want to get it for free, tell a couple people, right? Like, Advil and Tylenol have never shown me a way to get my Advil and Tylenol for free, right? So we're not only going to help people with their pains and stuff like, and once again, I'm not a doctor, disclaimer, like, it's helped me personally with so much pain. We're going to help people with that, and then potentially help them get it for free, right? By introducing it to a couple more people. And I love that. And I love the team concept. I've always been a team player. It was never, I was blessed to be the guy that got the records and the stuff like that. But I'll tell you, anybody could have done it behind the team I played with. I was just the lucky guy that got the ball, right? And I feel like that with this. And what Barry said, like, I'm telling every single person that has skin about this because I feel stupid not telling them. I feel almost bad if I don't tell somebody about this product. And we're aligned now. We're ready to roll. We're ready to launch. We've got everything kind of going in the right direction. And, when you start with something new, there's always going to be hiccups. And we had some for a while, and they're gone. And we've got great leadership. The Bedrock guys, Barry, Ariana, Trent, and Chastity, and now Bill coming on. It's just a, guys, imagine sitting around the table with, either Steve Jobs or who's the Amazon guy, Jeff Bezos,
Bezos.
in their infancy, right? I'm going to bring Denny back in on this too. Denny, like, if we were sitting around that table, remember how many people told Apple they were crazy or told Jeff Bezos he was crazy, right?
Yeah.
We have something now, and what really aligns with me is that it's patented in 52 countries, I believe. Like, nobody can copy this. It's the only product known on the planet to take a water-based molecule through the skin. And this is just the first of potentially lots of products. It's going to change the entire supplementation game through, like, digestion. When you take your pills, your digestion is going to kill a lot of that. Just Google it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you all, like, Google how much actually gets digested. And then you don't get to direct it where it goes. Your body tells it where to go. I'm putting this on my arms if I'm doing arms. I'm putting it on my legs if I'm doing legs. If I'm a soccer player, your son, my son's a football player, legs, right? They're just, and these guys are running around like, I could go into lots of stories of athletes that we've helped. But I can also go into stories of guys that just, they're a mechanic, right? And his elbow won't straighten out for the last 15 years. They rub this stuff on and the pain's gone, right? So it's really for anybody with skin, and you're going to see a lot of it from me on my page and in the locker room, and from Denny and from Aaron. And guys, we believe in it that much, right? So it's something that can absolutely change so many people's lives, and we're very blessed that God put it in front of us first, and to be able to really go out and help a lot of people. So with that, I'm really, open to any questions. Like, let's open up the question line. I don't, we don't have a ton of viewers.
Before a question pops
Yeah.
in, if a question pops in, let's fill that in. But I gotta say, without counting like the 45-year veteran at the firefighters, using this, the police officer who's retired, now he's double dipping. He's working 12 hours at the airport, and he's like calling us up. He said, "Hey man, I feel like you're my dealer." I'm a great guy, but the phenomenal athlete you are with everything that, one of the stories that I just feel like is on my heart to share is, even though Todd's an athlete, he's just like everybody else. When we have back problems, we have knee problems, things like that. Can I share Mexico?
Sure.
Can I share absolutely. Mexico? Okay. And not counting the people at pickleball, is like they stopped the game and they said, "What is in this stuff? Because we're not finishing this game unless you make sure that we have some before we leave." We're like, "Yeah, we got more. You're fine." But Todd was hurting so bad, he'd already pushed off his surgery, and the doctor was just like, "You can't do that. Nobody ever does that." And Todd's like, I'm doing it. And he's like, "Well, what are you doing?" He goes, "You haven't been filling your prescriptions for the Oxycontin or Oxycodone, whichever, Oxy something." And he honestly thought Todd was getting Oxy off of the streets, like, go to the seedy part of town and buy the Oxy. And he's like, "No, I've just been using this. It's all natural, right?" But what I had noticed, Todd had told me, his pains. And then when we were in Mexico, he graciously had given his last bottle to his son prior to us getting down there or whatnot, or Arizona, I'm sorry. And he was in pain. He was in pain. And I felt bad because before I got to Arizona, and I'm sorry, I'm conflicting here. I kind of picked on him a little bit for it until I seen it. And then I was like, "Holy smokes, dude." And I just seen him pop right up, and he just felt better, and let's go for a run. And I was like, "What is going on?" Same thing happened when we was in Mexico. He had some in Mexico, but we were right before the surgery, right?
Yeah. Well, 2 months. Yeah.
2 months out from the surgery. And to watch him put this on, like, he needed to put it on in the morning and at noon and at night. But the freedom it gave him, like, it was just night and day difference, right? I don't want to say the old man with the walker, but like, he was hurting, and he didn't take anything else. That was the crazy cool thing. Like, he was using this, no Advil, no pain meds, no prescribed Oxy, nothing. And when it's all said and done, that quality of life, and I'm so happy and thankful that he had shared this with me to try, because I use it for performance. I use it when I need to heal. At 50 years old, there's times I need to heal. Just absolutely amazing. And like I said, thank you for letting me share that part there.
Yeah. Mexico. Yeah. That was every day. You just saw it when I was at Mexico, right?
I had no idea. And Aaron, I was picking on him. I'm like, "Stop it. Stop
Really?
it." Until I seen him, and I'm like, "Man, I'm so sorry. I feel like
It's bad. Yeah.
I thought he was just kind of going over the top. He wasn't.
Yes.
It literally changed his life.
So this stuff worked great for me for about 5 hours, right? So 5 hours at a pop. So I would get about 15 hours of the day, and then I'd sleep, right? And so when I wake up from, like, and Denny would literally watch me crawl to the bathroom, and I don't know why I didn't put it right next to the bed, but I didn't. It was in the bathroom. I'd literally crawl to the bathroom, get this stuff on my back, and 15 minutes later, I'm like, "You ready
I
to
thought
go
he
work out?"
slept wrong the one day. I was like, "Is everything all right? Is your mattress okay?" And then another day, he's like, "Hey, we got pickleball at such and such time." He wanted to make sure he had some on before pickleball. And I was just like, "All right, man." So we did that. Same thing with the workouts. He had his Lactigo on, and
I played 2 hours of pickleball, 2 days down there, and I felt great during it, right? Like, it was awesome. And then
the one
obviously,
that surprised me the most was the nighttime. I didn't realize after the nighttime shower, you put it on and you sleep like a baby, right?
Yep.
Till you wake up in pain.
Till I wake up. But now it's all fixed, and honestly, I couldn't be happier that I found this product when I did, because I don't know what I would have done, honestly. Like, I wouldn't have
Do we have any questions?
I haven't seen anything yet.
There, Aaron, is there something that you've been asked quite a bit and it seems to pop up more than most?
One of the comments that I heard in Columbus the other night, and just so your listeners, Todd, know that now we're starting to get out into Columbus, Grand Island, starting to do town hall meetings, and guess what? The word's getting out. So this is an exciting time for pre-launch. But one of the things that was brought up, Denny, was this, that your body is starving for carnosine. It's absolutely starving for magnesium. And so I just found that very interesting. You could sit there and eat steak all day long and not get enough carnosine. And then it's got to go through the GI tract. It's got to go through the intestines. And guess what? That's a heck of a lot of work to get a little amount of carnosine. Well, now it can be absorbed through the skin transdermally to get into the part that you need it to be. So that just was mind blowing to me. We constantly need magnesium, but carnosine to get it into us. And then to feel the benefits of this product almost immediately, I mean, that is a game changer for me, because you can put on or digest so much stuff, but to feel it in about, I would say, 15 minutes for me. I know everybody says half hour, 45. I can feel this stuff when I put it on, and I've been checking stuff since I've been 15 years old doing push-ups. And guess what? This kicks in and allows me to do what I can do, at this age. And I think the market out there for the boomers, for farmers, I'm a 4th generation farm kid, guess what? They all need this. They've been working so hard their entire life. This is the Midwest. So everybody's worn out, broken. High school sports, we gave this to our track team through my 16-year-old daughter. It passed like wildfire. And guess what? They won the districts for the first time in like a decade with using Lactigo. I've got a nephew that's going to play in the 3rd round of the state football tournament tomorrow night. And he was the first kid we put Lactigo on. And he's one of the best rushers in his class. There's just no doubt about it. So elderly people, athletes, construction, diabetic, carpal tunnel, diabetic neuropathy, soreness, body aches, and it's multifaceted, that you want to see this go in every which direction. And so we just need it into the hands and hearts of people.
Awesome, guys.
What surprised me was the amount of people at night who would have just basically their legs and the cramps and things like that. And you're just being helpful. And you're like, oh yeah, try some of this. And then you get like a phone call the next day, like, hey, my legs didn't cramp up. And you're like, okay. And you're like, how often do they cramp up? Like once, twice a week? No, every day for the last 15 years. And I mean, it just blows my mind. It just blows my mind. So
I'm going to bring Barry back on. Now we got 4 of us on it. Look at this. Barry, thank you so much for coming in and launching this with us, with Denny and Pastor Aaron. We look forward to many years of using this product and promoting, because you're in Canada, so we're in 2 countries right now, soon to be the world, because we do have the patents in 50 countries or at least, and it's in a lane of its own, right? Like, no other product like this. There's zero competition. You may think that what's the BioFreeze? Not even competition, lane of our own, patented, protected, proprietary, and it's ours to promote. So I like to say it's like if you could have been a distributor of creatine back in the early 90s and been the only ones with it, right? Because obviously creatine didn't get patented, and now every Tom, Dick, and Harry is putting out creatine, and Denny and I know from sourcing creatine, there's many different stuff. Like I said, 11 months every single day has never let me down ever. So pretty pumped. All right, guys, that's what we got. I appreciate everybody that joined me. If you're watching it on a replay, hit us up. Reach out to myself, Denny, Barry, Aaron. You're going to be seeing a lot of us about this product over the course of the next 20 years. I'm going to be using it for the next 20 years, maybe 30. Right. So as long as God's willing to have me on the planet and give me another day, I'll be using this product. So come join us. We're gonna have a blast doing this, like Barry said, and we're just gonna take it to the masses because we believe in it so much. So
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Always my sign out. God bless, much love, and peace out.
See what's